Hi, and welcome back. I'm Tanisha, and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to go over some business-like idioms that you can use for work. Hope this video is very helpful for you as you continue to learn English as a second language. Here we go. Our first idiom that we have is ASAP. What does it mean when someone says, "Hey, I need this paper ASAP"? ASAP means as soon as possible. Someone gives you a project to do or hands you something and says, "I need this back ASAP." They're saying that they need this as soon as possible. Idiom number 2, 24/7. What does it mean when someone says, "That convenience store around the corner is open 24/7"? That means that convenience store is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, which means they never close 24/7. Number 3, yes man. What does it mean to be a yes man? A yes man or lady is someone who says yes to everything. If their boss or superior or a friend or whomever asks them something, they say yes regardless of how they feel. And that's not good. You don't want to be a yes man or a yes lady because you have feelings too. And I would think you would have hopes and desires of your own as well without having to say yes to everything that comes along your way. So don't be that yes man or that yes woman. Idiom number 4, it is a win-win situation. What does it mean when they say it is a win-win situation? That means that there's a winner. It's a win-win situation. Everyone has the ability to have the upper hand within the corporation. It's a win-win situation. There's no losers there. Win-win situation. Number 5, word of mouth. What does it mean when news is spread by word of mouth? For example, restaurants rely on people giving good feedback for the experience that they had at the restaurant. Word of mouth, meaning getting the word out there to your friends, your families, your coworkers, letting the whole world know about your experience. That is word of mouth. Number 6, to touch base. What does it mean when someone comes up to you and says, "You know what, I have to go. Let's touch base later"? Touch base means that you would either call that person or text them either by email or phone, or that you'll meet up at a later time. You'll touch base and go over the situation. Number 7, time's up. What does it mean when someone says, "Okay, time's up"? Time's up means that something is canceled. You had 5 minutes to get the job done. 5 minutes is over, time's up, which means you have to put and stop whatever you're doing because you ran out of time. Number 8, to think outside of the box. What does it mean to think outside of the box? Some companies look for people who are very creative, who think outside of the box. What's it saying is that something that's not traditional, it's unconventional, it's a different type of idea. Thinking outside the box can actually push you ahead in life because you're not thinking like everyone else. You're thinking outside of the box. Number 9, kind of go hand in hand with thinking outside the box, is to think big. What does it mean to think big? Someone may say, "You know what? I don't have a desire just to make one business or just to open up 2 businesses. I have a desire to open up businesses nationwide," which means they're thinking big. They want something global that will benefit everyone. So to think big is not to think small, but to really think big and to have big plans for the future. Number 10, great minds think alike. What does it mean when someone says, "Oh, wow, great minds think alike"? What they're basically saying is that you and another person or several other people had the same idea and it's a good idea. And someone will come in and say, oh, wow, great minds think alike. That's what that means. Number 11, ahead of the pack, ahead of the game. What does it mean when someone says, we need to stay ahead of the pack and we have to work hard in order to stay successful? We have to stay ahead of the game, which means they have to be better than their competition. They have to stay ahead of their competition. Two stores are going neck and neck and they have sales going on. And store A wants to stay ahead of the game above store B, so they want to win the competition. At stake. What does it mean when something is at stake? Someone may say, I'm a little nervous about doing this presentation or the show in front of our boss because things are at stake. What they're basically saying is that things are at risk. So there has to be a turnaround somewhere. Sometimes it's not always a business that's at stake. Sometimes a person relationship can be at stake, which means something has to be fixed because it's at risk of being lost. Back to the drawing board. What does it mean when someone says, oh, we got to take this back to the drawing board. It didn't work out this time, so we have to go back to the drawing board. What that basically means is that you have to go back to the plan and replan it. The first plan you came up with maybe was not the plan that needed to take place, so therefore it did not work out. So you have to go back to the drawing board and redo the plan. Ballpark figure number. What does it mean when someone says, hey, can you give me a ballpark figure? Can you give me a number? What they're basically asking for is an estimate. Say someone walks into the restaurant and the restaurant looks at his employee and says, hey, can you give me a ballpark figure, a number of how many guests are coming to the party? The employee might say, an estimate of 50 people are expected to show up tonight. That is ballpark figure or ballpark number. What does it mean when someone says, oh, we have to go back to square one? We have to go back to square one. What does it mean to go to square one? Basically, when someone says we have to go back to square one, basically you're saying we have to start over. There was a project the business was working on and it just did not pan out. So they have to go back to square one and start over. Behind the scenes. What does it mean to be behind the scenes? Basically, behind the scenes is something that took place in secret and not in front of the public. There are a lot of people who work hard behind the scenes to make sure the business runs well. You don't see these people, but they're working behind the scenes. So no one in public sees what they're doing. It's done in secret. It's done behind the scenes, and they're working hard to make sure the business stays afloat. Number 17, what does it mean to call it a day or a night? Oh, we've been working so hard. We're going to call it a day or a night because I'm getting really hungry or I'm tired. To call it a day or to call it a night means to stop working for today, to stop working for tonight and call it a day, to go take a rest. You're done. It's time to clock out and go home. Call it a day. By the book. Sally always does her work by the book. What does it mean when someone says he or she regularly do things by the book? That means that that person follows the company rules or laws 100% of the time. They are strict by the book. They don't lean to the right. They don't lean to the left. They stay focused, right to the point. They're by the books. They work by the books. Big picture. What does it mean when someone says, I have a big picture in mind? They want everything to go well. The manager may place something out and say, here's all the essentials to complete the big picture. Something having to do with the project of the work. Right now, things seem small. You don't know how it's going to come together, but once it's all come together, you finally get to see the big picture. And number 20, 50-50. What does it mean when someone says, oh, we split our funds down 50-50? That means person A got 50% and person B received 50% as well. It's something that is split and shared down the middle. I hope these idioms were of a great help to you, to help you with your English. Continue to study and continue to have fun as you continue to learn different type of idioms and how to use them in everyday English. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.